Hello, everyone. My name is Connor Martin at CMart AI Automation, and welcome to n8n. In this masterclass, I'll be taking you from a beginner to a pro using AI automation. We got a lot to cover in this video, so grab a pen and paper or an AI note taker, and let's just jump right into this one. If you're watching this video and you're anything like me, maybe a little bit of a procrastinator, and you're asking yourself, where do I start? How do I get into AI automation? Is it worth it? How much does it cost? You're in the right spot. I was just like you. I had no idea where to begin. I didn't know what I was doing, navigating. I don't have a computer coding background from school. I had no idea what I was doing until I discovered n8n. This powerful tool has saved me hours. If you're ready to start your journey, you're in the right spot. So the first question we need to address is why? Why n8n? Why AI automation? And the answer to that is pretty simple. AI automation is extremely powerful. I'm sure if you guys have ever gone into a fast food restaurant, say for example McDonald's, there's not even really anyone taking your order. It's all AI automated through the large iPads, and you just type in your orders and it sends it back. That's all AI. That's all automated process. With that being said, there are still so many businesses in this world that do not use AI automation. That will change. In the future, everything will be AI automated. Every single business will use AI or they'll just get left behind. They'll be spending too much money on workers when AIs can do it for cheap. n8n is a super cool, super powerful tool that does it's. I'm sure you've heard of low code, no code. That's where this comes into play. There is about 400 built-in integrations in n8n. We have Microsoft, we have Gmail, we have Slack, X, Telegram. If you can think of any app, they probably have it. And that is so cool because everyone has different apps they use for their work, school. Everyone's different, but n8n captures it all. You can connect to almost any tool using API keys, webhooks, custom code, all in n8n. So, what is n8n? n8n is a low code, no code AI automation tool. This allows anyone, yes, you, to start creating workflows today. When you start automating your workflow, you will begin to understand the power of AI and you will be able to gather and collect the benefits of this. If you're a business owner and you're paying someone or multiple people to do petty tasks, sending emails, sending confirmation texts, you wouldn't have to. You can have AI automation do that for you, saving you money. Enhanced accuracy. I'm sure you're just like me. I trust ChatGPT a lot more than I trust myself going on the internet and searching for the information. I trust AI agents more than I trust my family. Scalability. Instead of focusing on repetitive tasks, you can start looking at the bigger picture for your business. How do we expand? How do we make more money? Where do we save money? You can start focusing on what matters in your business instead of doing repetitive tasks every single day. This is a huge time saver. This is why it's so important to jump on this train while it's still rolling. So now let's jump into the n8n interface. I'm going to try to break this down as simple as I can so you guys can understand what is going on inside n8n. So there's three different steps that we need to focus on. It's workflows, nodes, and execution. The workflow is like the blueprint. Say you're wanting to build a shed outside. You need to understand how to build the shed. You're not just going to walk outside, snap your fingers, and the shed's going to appear. You need to actually have a blueprint. You need to actually understand how to build this shed. Next, there are nodes. These are essentially each step you're taking from the blueprint. So when you're building a shed, you need to one, get the shed, two, put the shed together, three, secure the shed, four, clean out the shed once it's complete, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. The no's are each step along the way. Last is the execution. This is the action. We have the blueprint now to build the shed. We have each step it takes to build the world's greatest shed. Now we just got to go out and do it. Essentially, this is what execution is. I know that example might not be great for you guys, as I've never built a shed myself. I'm sure a lot of you viewers may or may not have built the world's greatest shed, but this is just to try to break down a simple way on what is going on in n8n. The first steps to n8n is trying to figure out if you are going to choose a self-hosted or a cloud server. Jumping into self-hosted, this is a little more technical because you are in full control of your server. This allows for a lot more privacy because the data stays in your network, which is super essential if you're working on an AI agent for a business. You don't want that planned on a cloud. You want to keep that information secure in your own network. With that being said, there might be a little bit higher of an upfront cost on self-hosted. This just requires you to maintain your own maintenance in the server. There might be bugs and updates that you just need to make sure that you maintain and keep your server up and running. This also allows for more customization on self-hosted, as you can tailor your AI to focus on the projects you are working on. Moving on to cloud, this has a great infrastructure designed and maintained by the n8n team. This allows for easy scalability. It's great for people that are just starting out n8n or want a user-friendly platform. The cloud also has a lower initial cost, kind of a pay-as-you-go. Maybe you are super busy one week and you can't hop on n8n, but the next week you want to build a few different models. So that's super, super nice. Easy maintenance. Like I said, n8n team takes care of all the updates. You don't have to worry about any of that. Anywhere that you have Wi-Fi, you can access the cloud. It's super powerful, so you just need to figure out if you want to work on the cloud or the self-hosted. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much, but it's essential to go through the logistics of n8n and try to get a basic understanding of what we're about to dive into. With that being said, let's jump right into n8n. All right, when you create an account, log into n8n, this is exactly how your screen should look. But for the sake of this video, I did create a brand new n8n account just to show you guys exactly what it looks like to start from the very beginning on this software. So up here we have workflows. Obviously, we start from scratch. We haven't created anything yet. You got credentials. These are all the credentials we will be using for this part of the video. We'll get to that in a second and how to set all that up. Then executions will be right here. Obviously, when we complete our AI agent, it'll show up here. In the bottom left-hand corner, you see a few different sublinks. You have admin panel, which shows basically if your n8n server is up and running, everything's running smoothly, if there's any bugs, updates, anything of that nature. Templates is a really, really cool tool. So when I open up the template link, it takes me to the n8n website where you have access to over 1,500 automated workflow templates. It's pretty crazy. Whatever project you're working on, you can easily just search and find a template without having to build it yourself. It's a great thing about this community. Everyone's sharing, keeping you up to date. There's no gatekeeping. It's a great tool that n8n has provided by offering everyone in the community to share their templates. You won't be needing to worry about variables too much, especially as beginners. There is one part I want to touch on in the help section. If you click on documentation, so as you can see, it's just another resource n8n has provided to help us get started in learning AI automation. Super cool. Check it out on your own time. It's a lot of helpful links, videos, text courses. Pretty cool website. So we're back in n8n. I did change my background to white for lighting purposes. You guys can go do that down in the settings down here. But before you begin any workflow, you must add a node. So we go up here to the top right. And as you can see, all these different trigger nodes. You have trigger manually, on schedule, so every day, hour, week. If you want to set a schedule, on form submission, or when executed by another workflow. So you could have 2, 3, 10 different workflows working together. So it's pretty powerful stuff here. We'll go with the trigger manually just so you guys can see what's kind of going on here. So for the trigger manually, we'll have to test workflow each time. Obviously down here, workflow executed successfully. There's nothing in there. Then when you're going to want to add another trigger, The cool thing about this is, say you want a Gmail trigger every time you get an email. Type in Gmail. It's got all these different actions, but we're going to go down here to the trigger. And this would allow a Gmail trigger for every time you got an email. You know it's a trigger if it has that little orange lightning bolt on the left side. So it's a good indicator to kind of keep yourself organized. Um, so let's say we wanted to add some fake data. I know I'm looking for the edit fields, or you can search it in if you don't know where it is. But once you get more comfortable, you'll be able to fly through these and press the right nodes. So the cool thing about each of these nodes is you have an input side and output side. So it makes it really, really easy to test each step individually. So let's just type in some fake data. So obviously there's nothing in our trigger node. There's nothing to input, but you can see the output came in correctly. And check, green. See the bottom right down here. So everything went good. So that's always good. But you have to make sure your nodes are connected. So if I were to run this, obviously this right node edit fields would not check green because we're not connected. So you need to make sure each node is connected. As you can see here, they're connected. Obviously, this is super basic stuff, but it's essential to get the groundwork under control and have a great understanding of what the fundamentals are of n8n before you get into more high level workflows. Um, and I can't stress enough, working by doing is how I learn the best, especially these community templates. So we can jump right into here, kind of look at the ones that I started with. So it's super easy. Click use for free. I'm on the cloud for the purpose of this video. And it puts it right in your n8n. So this is super cool to learn. A lot of these templates will have write-ups. So this is a merge node. Makes it super easy to learn and kind of just see exactly what's going on. So in this top one, it's keep the ingredients needed that are also in stock. You see the flour, egg, milk, lemon, sugar. So let's test this one out. So I went through, it worked. We can see what recipe, oh, eggs, lemon, and sugar. We got Queen and Led Zeppelin for all you rock stars watching this video. Super band. So yeah, I cannot stress it enough. Just going in here and playing around is the easiest way to learn. Before we continue building more workflows in n8n, it's essential to understand what types of nodes we are working with. The first node are trigger nodes. That's what we just use, and pretty much every single workflow will start with the trigger node. It's the one with the orange lightning bolt. The different types are on chat, on event, called by another workflow, manual, and much, much more. As you can see, I have the called by another workflow bolded because this one is so powerful. I mentioned this previously, but you could take a workflow that triggers another workflow that sends it to a third workflow, or you could build 10. That's where the power of AI comes into play. Next, we have logic nodes. The purpose of this is the decision maker. This allows n8n to understand what path you want to take for your workflow. So the types of this, for example, are a if, true or false. Say you put in n8n, was George Washington the first president? It would say true. A switch node. This allows for n8n to switch workflows depending on if each conditions are met, and it routes the data based on that result. And then there's a wait node. For example, this could be if you wanted a 20-second delay when sending an email back that you just received. So this allows you to be able to fully customize your workflow. Next, we have action nodes. These are the doers. This is like the production team of n8n. They're in there working hard for you so you do not have to. Different types of these are set calendar events, API requests, get text messages, send emails, and so many more. Anything you can do manually, n8n can do that for you using the action nodes. The last node we'll be going over is the data transformation node. The purpose of this is to modify or handle the data as it flows through. So it's adjusting your information as it's flowing through your workflow. Some types of these are set, add, change, or reduce the data as it's coming in. Assemble, this combines single data into one. Or merge node, where it combines two outside sources into one. So now you guys have a good understanding of the different types of nodes we will be using in n8n. So for the example we'll be doing, I made ChatGPT create me a Google Sheets fake order list. So we have monitor, smartphone, mouse, tablet, mic. Obviously this is not real. This is just for the sake of the video. We can jump back into n8n and see if we can get this data imported. You can either click here, go to the top right. We need to find that Google Sheets node. So they have three triggers on here: on row added, on row updated, or on row added or updated. So in case you wanted to add something or change an order, you can choose the correct trigger accordingly. Again, n8n does a great job of documentation. If you're confused on the Google Sheet trigger node, click right here. Give you some information on which node you're working on. So you will have to connect your credentials here. It's not as complicated as you think. I already have mine connected, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it for the sake of this video. We go to create new. Yours will look a little different. It'll have URL, client secret, client ID. Again, if my explanation isn't good enough, you can go onto this documentation as well, and it'll give you a little bit better explanation if we can't figure it out. But we go here to the cloud, prereq. Then you need to log into your Google account that you will be using for n8n. Click on console. And I've already created a project. So first, what you'll want to do is create a project. Then we're going to search Google Sheets API. Open that up. And yours will say enable. I've already enabled mine. So it's as simple as clicking that and you'll enable it. Next, we go in here to credentials. I already have a few myself. Then you're going to create credentials, OAuth client ID, application type, web application. And then right here, you'll add your URI. That will be right here. Just copy and paste. I already logged in multiple times, so mine's not showing up. After you do that, you will get your client ID and application right here. So you can click into it, copy and paste, client ID, back in, and then client secret, copy, paste. Then you're good to go. Once you've logged in a few times, it'll look like this, where you just sign in and you'll get the green light. It means we're good to go. So now that we have the credentials figured out, we need to set up the rest of this node. So we're going to be pulling every single minute for anything that gets added in. Documents. What's cool about this is you can post a URL if your sheet's not pulling up. I don't have too many, so it's easy. Customer orders from sheet. There's only one sheet. So add that here. And let's see if it pulls the correct data. Input, output. We got Ryan, John, Nick, Ashley, Bob. Ryan, John, Nick, Ashley, Bob. So we're good to go here. So we've successfully connected our credentials and set up our first Google Sheet trigger node. Next, we need to get a chat model. I'm using OpenAI. Feel free to use whichever one you want. Text action, message a model. So you will have to connect your credentials again. Get used to this process. It's super standard when setting up specific type of nodes. So we will create new credentials. As you see, I have a few different test ones. So you just need to create one, copy, get that key there, paste it in just like that, save, good to go. And you can rename at the top here. Makes it easier to keep everything organized. Now that we have the credentials taken care of, we can fill out the rest of the node. So we have resource text, that'll be down here. Operation, message a model. I use 4.0, just runs the smoothest. So I already have a prompt ready. You guys can copy and paste this. From what I have, I just got this from my OpenAI model. So you are in charge of client orders. Your job is to take the incoming information regarding new orders and give a nice summary that will be emailed to the team. The email should be signed off as customer success team. So you see we have all this matches our Google Sheet. The next order of business is to take this order ID, and it's a copy and paste error. So you just need to copy that, cut, just place in the correct field. So what this is doing is there's a JavaScript inside this JSON. You do not have to do any coding. It's all done for you. The code is already inside here. You're just placing this inside so the Chat GPT or OpenAI model can read it and give you an output. System, you can see what each of these do. System usually works best when we're dealing with these type of different texts. And let's see to test the step. As you see, I did not press this JSON 1 to start. I just want to just show you guys what happens to the output. Okay. So it was a success. So you can see we have the team here, but it's all connected. And this is not what we want for the next step. It has a nice message. This is exactly why we check output content as JSON. So when we do the next step, we can drag and drop, just like we did here, accordingly for the next step. Let's try this again. All right, we got our output. Email, subject, order, confirmation, Ryan Miller, order ID, one-on-one. Then we have this beautiful body. And each of them came through perfect. So that's exactly what we wanted. Now we're done with the OpenAI step. Next, we need to add a Gmail node. Go here and we are going to send a message. So you will have to connect your credentials again. So just create new credentials, go back to the exact same Google Cloud, copy and paste your ID, secret, boom, then you will be good to go. So for resource, we're going to message, send, because we are trying to send a confirmation email. And you see why it is so important that we check the output JSON, because it has each different text box be able to drag and drop accordingly. So that is super essential. So we have the information going in the right spot. So we want to send this to my personal email here. Then it's as simple as drag, and there's the JSON JavaScript that you do not have to write. Email body, good to go. It shows the results of what's pending. And like I said, you can test each step before we go back into the workflow. So let's see if this worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all sent correctly. Something else I do want to add is there's an options button down here that I like to append n8n attribution so it doesn't send in the email sent by n8n. So let's test this again. There we go. We got that set up. So we created this model. I should be getting 5 emails sent to my personal Gmail account confirming the orders and where they are. Let's go check it out. Now that I'm in my Gmail, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Dear Timmy, received the email, blah, 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 blah. So, yep, it's perfect. The cool thing about these open AI models is you can customize it however you want. Maybe you want to add a little extra flair to the email. maybe we want to add a joke to our clients at the end of the email. And as we get the output, you can see the joke is, why did the computer go to the doctor? Because it had a virus. I'm not sure if that was the best joke it could come up with, but it is a joke. So if you don't like the format of your email or you want to add some flair, you can literally come in the prompt. It is your email. It is your workflow. You can customize it however you want. We save that so we don't lose any of our progress. You guys remember when we searched for the Google Sheets, we chose the on, row, added, or updated. It was a specific reason why we did this. We turn this active. This is going to show us that when we add something to our Google Sheets, it's going to automatically email us an update. So let's go to our Google Sheets. I already have something ready. So we got Paul Blart ordering 1 scooter. And now let's hop into our Gmail and see if it came through. All right, so you see the other 5 orders here, and then you see at the top, Paul Blart. Maybe he got into a scooter accident in one of his latest movies and needed to order a new one. But as you can tell, showed up here, and it's all complete. You should be feeling pretty excited. You just created your first workflow in n8n, and you are on the road to becoming a pro. With that being said, I know it's super basic stuff, but you need to go over the basics before you get into more complex workflows. Now that we're feeling a little bit better about n8n and AI automation, let's jump into part 2. So in part 2, we're going to be covering RAG, vector databases, RAG AI agents, and much more. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So what is RAG? I'm sure you've heard this online or in the AI space, and you're kind of confused on what it is or how it works. And I'm here to help you navigate through all this confusion. So it stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. So it is an AI framework that combines information retrieval with text generation to improve the accuracy, remember that part, and relevance of AI generated responses. So what this does, instead of having trained responses every single time and not staying up to date, it takes information, documents, books, external sources, websites, and keeps the AI bot up to date with information so it has the best responses every single time. This is critical. Think about if you're working for a company and you have internal policies that are changing each month, each year. You don't want the AI to use the old information every single time. You want it to always stay up to date, always be in the news. You want the most accurate responses every single time. This is what RAG is. This is how these AIs are becoming so powerful. As you can tell, I get a little excited talking about RAG, but that just shows the power that these tools have. AI has come a long way already in just its short lifespan. When AI first came out and you asked a bot a question and it didn't really know the answer or it didn't have the correct information, it would just fill in the blank with misinformation. That is super dangerous, especially if you're using AI for your day-to-day work or business. You do not want false information coming through and ruining your reputation or messing up your workflow. That is why the evolution of RAG and these different AI bots are so powerful and super important in AI generation. Now that we understand what RAG is, we can jump into vector databases. I know this looks like a lot of information, but let me just break it down to you so you fully understand vector databases. So what this is the type of database designed to store, search, and retrieve high-dimensional vector embeddings efficiently. Instead of traditional structured data like rows and columns, it handles numerical representations of data. Keep that in mind, making it ideal for AI, machine learning, and search applications. So that's a lot of words, a lot of junk, but what does that mean? Just think about it like this. Imagine you have a huge toy box filled with all kind of toys, cars, dolls, action figures, everything. Now, instead of sorting them by name, you want to organize them by how similar they are, like putting all the red cars together and grouping all the superheroes by their powers. This makes it super easy for AI to go in and dissect where it wants to search for the information. A vector database does something similar to that, but with informations like pictures, words, and sounds. Instead of using the names and categories, it turns everything into numbers. So it's like a search engine. So it easily can go retrieve exactly what it's looking for. So now let's try to visualize vector databases so you guys have a full understanding of what I'm talking about. So think about this multi-dimensional picture here, and you see different categories. So we have animals, web applications, fruits. Maybe there's homes built in the 1900s down here. Maybe there's car manufacturers down here. But this whole thing is the vector database. These are all vector stores. Let's think about maybe we have dog videos and dog training videos and cat how many lives cats have and mango benefits for your health. It's all stored in here. So how does this work in relation to RAG? So when you put this information into your vector database, it knows where to go. It knows what part is what in all numerical fashion. So then when you ask your chatbot information, it goes right to where it's supposed to go, generates a humanized answer, and spits that out to you. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is exactly how I learned it and visualized it when I was first learning. So I hope this makes sense to you guys in understanding why vector databases are important and how they work. So I hope you guys are starting to get a better understanding of RAG and vector database. I know I'm going super fast, but I don't like watching long videos either. So I'm trying to condense all the information I can super efficiently. So here we have a cutout from n8n, which we will continue to use. I just want to break this down before we create this model, and work on this workflow just so we get a better understanding and a different approach on understanding RAG and vector databases. So what's going on here? As you can tell, this is the orange trigger, orange lightning bolt, so you know this is a trigger. So the RAG is going to retrieve this data from the Google Drive that we are putting into the vector database. I'm using Pinecone. It's the easiest for me to use. There's a lot of different databases out there, but this one's the cheapest, and it works super, super well for me. So the vector database will store the text in a way that allows for a quick, efficient search. Like we mentioned in the previous slide, it puts it all in the vector stores in numerical fashion, just so it's easy for the software to understand and fly through and get the relevant information. So it's going to fly through this default data loader. What this does, it allows information to flow back and forth through the workflow. It's super important here. So then it goes down, the information goes down into the recursive character text splitter. What this node does is it cuts the information in a super intelligent way. Instead of just by characters, it cuts it down maybe by the end of each sentence or paragraph for relevant information. So there's a few different ones, but this is the one that you'll use the most when it comes to text splitting documents. You'll always use, for the most part, you'll always use this. So it'll flow back through here. So it's getting the information from the Google Drive, it's stored in here, it's flying through here, it's chopping it down into relevant information from that text, going back in using AI, it'll embed this into the vector database. And then it's going to be stored in here. So the document we had is getting broke down, all the relevant information, everything summarized, it's all getting broke down, and it'll store in the vector database. As we jump into n8n, I wanted to pick a company that just had their earnings. Micron Technology, they're a semiconductor company. They just had their earnings 2 weeks ago. So it's super relevant information, super new information. And I wanted to choose this because it'll show you the power of n8n, RAG, and vector databases. So without further ado, let's jump right into the model. So we're back in n8n. We already understand what workflow we're going to create. We just need to know how to do it. So first, we add our first node, the trigger node here, and then next we need that Google Drive, and we need to download a file. So you're going to obviously need to connect your credentials if you haven't done that already. Again, just real quick, you'll go into here, Google Cloud, search Google Drive, and make sure this is enabled. I've already enabled mine, as you can tell right here. Go back and then click into here, your ID, click right into here, and your ID will be right there. So we're good to go. So resource file is fine, download, because we're going to be downloading it. And what file we are going to use. So we are going to be using this file here that I downloaded. If you just type in Micron Technology PDF summary, earnings summary, it'll be the first one. So I just downloaded this right to my Google Drive. Super simple. We can just search it. If you have a lot of docs in there, you can just search it like I do. Boom. Got that. Nothing obviously coming, just to make sure that that's what we're looking for. Perfect. This is the PDF we're looking for. So it's right in there. So you should have these two set up. They should be green. So now that we got these two set up, we need to grab the Pinecone vector store, and we need to add documents to vector store. So again, you're gonna have to create your new credentials. So real quick here, go into Pinecone, API keys, create API keys, and you'll be able to copy and paste. It'll pop right up. Paste that in there. Boom, you're good to go. Operations, insert document. That's what we want to do. So Pinecone index, jump right back into Pinecone, go into database, indexes, and I've already named mine something random. Create index. Boom, type it. It's free. Create it. It'll pop right here. Go back in. Then it'll be right here. Give it a second. There it is. 200 should work for this document size. And the last thing you need to do in here is Pinecone namespace. I'm just going to name mine Micron just to stay organized. And of course, it says wire me up. Make sure you connect the dots. Boom. Next, we need the embedding. I'm loyal to OpenAI, so I'm going to use this. Again, create your credentials just real quick. Come into here, API keys, create new secret key. You type that in, name it whatever you want, save it to project, copy and paste the key. Easy as that. Make sure it's on 3 small. Just keep in mind, watch this binary right here. Just keep that in mind as we're going through. Documents, default data loader. What does this do again? Shoots information up and coming back through. So you see it's gonna auto pop up to JSON. You want to change that to binary so everything matches. If it won't, if not everything is matching in the workflow, it will not work. We got that set up. And what's the last thing we need to do is the text splitter. So you see the 3 here. I mentioned the other 2. You're not really going to use the character and the token. You're really going to just use this recursive. It's just super smart and how it breaks down the chunks. 1,000 should work. This is a pretty big document. For now, 1,000 should work for this. As you can see, binary there, that matches up as well. And you are done. Just like that. Let's test the workflow. Let's send the information. You see it came down here, split the text up, went back through using AI, and green light. You look down here, green light. So now you should go into Pinecone, open this up, namespace, 40. So we got 40 right here, 40 items there, and it is all in here. Now that we have successfully put our PDF information from the Google Drive into the vector database, we need to now create an AI agent that we can chat to about this PDF. Let's jump right into it. We are now ready to build our AI agent. Let's jump right into it. So we are going to use the on chat message so we can talk to this agent. So we're going to choose advanced AI agent. So this is the beast we're working with here. I'm going to rename mine Micron agent. Feel free to name yours whatever you want. Yeah. And chat model, I am going to continue to use OpenAI. Should already have your credentials set up. I use GPT-4o Mini. It's good for texting. At this point, it's the cheapest as well, and it's super high level. So my loyalty again runs there. Memory, simple memory. So what this node does is when we're typing back and forth with the chatbot, and we say, "Can you give us Q3? What is a Q3 summary of Micron technology?" And then it gives us a reply, and then we ask, "What about Q4?" It'll forget what we were talking about. So simple memory allows the chatbot to remember what we were talking about. So now we need to get the Pinecone in here. So we need to search Pinecone, vector store, add this in here. Credentials should already be set up. I'm going to call this database, and I already have a pre-made description. You can pause the video and copy this down. Call this tool to get information about Micron's earnings to answer the user's question. Pretty simple. Again, choose the index that we have already been working with. And then last, just so it knows where we want to search, type Micron in there. Embedding, of course, you know where my loyalty lies. OpenAI, make sure it's on 3 small, everything matches up. And then one last thing here, we need to add a system message. So right now it just says you are a helpful assistant. That's fine, but I went to ChatGPT and created a more user-friendly message. Hey there, you are an AI system designed to help answer questions about Micron earnings using the data from Micro Earnings Report. That's what is from our Google Drive. Your job is to provide a clear, friendly, and engaging response while keeping things accurate and useful. So you guys can create your own or copy mine word for word. It does not matter. It'll just help us chat with the bot. All right, so now that we built this AI monster, let's see if this thing actually works. Can you tell me who the CEO is? It says it's a guy. Oh, okay, perfect. It matches up. Then the cool thing about it is it shows what exactly is going on the right hand side, all the code, everything that me and you don't know how to do in creating code is all running through the agent. Let's ask another question. Okay. Give me a detailed earnings report. This is the main objective of this. We don't want to have to go through this whole entire document, 39 pages. We don't want to read everything. This is why we created this Micron agent. And boom, it gives us all the key takeaways, even adds little friendly emojis, dissects all the good information we need, and does exactly what we want. I hope you guys are as excited as I am creating this AI monster and starting to understand how RAG and vector databases work to its fullest potential. If you made it this far, you should be feeling pretty confident navigating n8n and understanding RAG and vector databases and how everything works. With that being said, we are going to combine everything we learned and create one last AI agent that's pretty powerful. Let's jump right into it. We are going to be creating a Gmail AI agent. This thing is super powerful, so let's create this bad boy. We can just name this okay. We need to start with the on chat message, and then we need to grab our AI agent system message. You can leave this blank. We will come back to this. You guys already know I'm going with this one. Credentials should already be set up now. 4.0 mini works for this type of problem we're dealing with. Now, I want to touch on this simple memory. I know we already used it, but I kind of want to go a little high level into this. So as you see here, session ID, session key, and then the 5 context window length. So if I say my name is Connor, should say hello, Connor. Then what is my name? So if this simple memory wasn't here, this would not show up. It would not remember. So how this thing got remembered, if you look here, you see what's the chat input. I said, what is my name? The session ID is connected to this session ID here. So what's basically going on here is that's what it remembers for the context window. And it is dynamic because it is using the JSON variable. So I kind of just wanted to show you guys how these things are connected and just how cool these things can flow through each other. Anyways, let's add our next tool. So we need the Gmail tool. You're gonna have to set up your credentials again, go into Google Cloud, search Gmail, and enable this. Tool description, set automatically, message send. So at this to section, I want you guys to pay attention to this section. So it'd be super inefficient if we had to type in everyone's email address every single time we wanted to use our Gmail AI agent. So what we can do here is double bracket and find from AI. Then we can insert a key into this called email recipient. There we go. So what this is doing is we are sent whenever the model gets to this to section, it's going to send our input into the query and it's going to dissect the exact email we are going to want to use using that OpenAI model. It's super powerful, and we can also use it on subject and message. So we can copy and paste this to here. We'll change that to subject. And if you guys already haven't noticed, it starts as fixed, but then if you copy and paste, it automatically switches to expression. So you don't need to worry about manually doing that. And then we're going to change this to email body. So we have these three fields set up. Then we will append n8n attributions. Then we don't want it to say this email was generated by n8n. So when our message goes through the query, it will be able to read these three messages and then act accordingly. Then one last thing, we can change the name to this, send email. So in the future, if we do want to use this AI agent, it knows that we are defining this node as send email. We want to start expanding, adding multiple nodes. When we get to nodes of 5 to 10 to 20, you want the AI agent to be able to know which node to use. Next, we need to add the Google Sheets tool. I will be using this document here. I am under John Smith. Here's my email. Just to show you guys, I can file through all these names and all these emails and all this extra nonsense and send it to the right person. So let's find that. You already know the drill with the credentials, set it up. Then contacts, and then I only have one sheet here. And then we'll rename this contact database. Boom. So now, if you guys remember, we need to go back into the AI agent and create our system message. So I just created one off of ChatGPT. Feel free to copy what I used. And so it says something, you are AI assistant, capable of sending emails. So I kind of just gave it the basics, read it over, proofread it, and then you do not need to ask. And then I put in there saying sign off as Mr. Krabs. You can put whatever you want. You can say add a joke to the end of it. Like I said, you can add whatever you want. This is your chat bot. If you want it to be mean, angry, happy, sad, glad, do it. I did go ahead and add an extra message here. Say, please send it and do not ask me if it's okay to send, just to make sure that that is okay. Tell John Smith he is late for work. So zooming in here, it says, hi, John. I just want to let you know that you are late to work. Please make sure to arrive on time. So Mr. Krabs obviously is not happy that John, aka me, is late to work. So it's pretty cool. Now you have your own Gmail AI agent, so you can go play around with it. We covered a lot in this video, so I want to thank you guys for sticking around if you made it to the end. You should feel more comfortable navigating n8n and AI automation. So what's next? I'm going to be dropping videos like this every single week. So like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time.